Handy Hudsonite here. If you need to book an inexpensive flight, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that using Google Flights, a powerful search engine for getting those flights. And I'm going to show you a few hacks that you may or may not know about when using the platform right after this. Google Flights is a powerful search engine that's been around for a few years, but there have been some updates to it in the last few months that make it even more seamless, and I'm going to show you a couple of those. And there's even a way to find inexpensive hotels that I'll touch on later, even vacation packages that are built in. So let's get into this. I'm the Handy Hudsonite, where I give you tips, hacks, and reviews so that you can get the job done. Hit that subscribe button plus the notification bell so that you can get tips, hacks, and reviews several times a week when I put up my content. Google Flights has been around for several years. They've added new features to it every year. Let's do a sample trip. Let's say we're going to be flying from Seattle to Orlando, Florida. Now, the Orlando airport generally is more expensive to fly into in a lot of cases than surrounding cities in Florida. But let's start by seeing how much that is. I'm going to fly out of SeaTac near Seattle. We're going to Orlando, Florida. And one thing you might want to do is just click the all airports here. That's one way to find out difference in prices. Okay, let's say we were going to fly in November. So let's say we're flying November 7th and coming back on November 7th and November 11th. And we'll see a new screen come up. Now you're going to see a lot of different flights, a lot of different options here. So to narrow this down, what I would recommend is determining how many stops that you want to take. Let's do one stop or fewer because connecting flights do tend to be less expensive a lot of the time. If you want to single down on an airline, you can do that as well. But we'll leave it as all the airlines. Now, when it comes to price, let's bring this down under $500. That way it just clears out everything that's more expensive than that. As far as times, you can determine just which time of day that you would want to depart. If you don't want to depart in the early morning, then you can skew it more towards the PM hours and narrow down when you would want to arrive. So for this one, I don't really want to arrive there too late, so we'll just put 9 p.m. and that will narrow down things even more. In fact, let's just bring this up here. If we want to avoid red-eye flights, then we can just bring this up to, since we're going to the East Coast, there's no way I'm going to get there before 11 o'clock anyway. Okay, so that's narrowed it down even more. Connecting airports. Now, maybe there's an airport that you don't want to go through. If it's the winter time, you may not want to go through a place like Minneapolis. That might be just really snowy, or Chicago, one of the Chicago airports. If you want to just stay south, you can deselect one of these, but I'm just going to leave them open. Okay, you can show to have any flight duration, or if you want to bring down the length of the duration, whether you want to have separate tickets or hide separate tickets, whether you want to buy separate tickets. For example, if you fly out on Alaska but then come back on another airline like United, it will not show you those separate return flights. Now, with our parameters here, you can see we've really narrowed this down to just 3 airlines. One of them is an overnight flight, which we're not going to really want that. Okay, so one thing that we can do is we can open up a date grid, and this gives you a bird's eye view of surrounding days of your departure and arrival times. If you have flexibility in when you can fly out or when you can come back, This will be a powerful tool to show you when. So for example, if you are able to leave on Wednesday, so we'll click there. So if you can leave Wednesday and return on Friday. If that's not an option, then just leave your Monday return. These are the return dates. These are the departure dates. It's a little more expensive there. If you have flexibility, you could come back on Tuesday. So you're flying out on Wednesday, coming back on Tuesday. And look at the price graph. This will show you just how the different prices change based on different flight times, what days you go out and come back. You can see flying a Saturday to a Friday is cheapest. If you have ultimate flexibility, this would be the way to go. Here's one with choosing the airports. So you can get a sense of, you can zoom out and find surrounding airports that will show you if there are any cheaper ones. Now look at this, Tampa, $186. That is significantly cheaper than anything else around. So let's select that. We'll add that airport. Okay, if you want some tips, you can go into this one. Gives you some travel guides. Okay, let's just X out of this. So now we should see Tampa added in here. Now, okay, this 186. Now, sometimes these cheaper fares come with, with some disadvantages. So let's expand this and see what's going on. What does this mean? So this doesn't include overhead bin access. So if you're able to travel without bringing in an over the overhead bin item, like a small suitcase, rolling suitcase, say you just want to bring like a backpack or a small bag that you can put under the seat in front of you, this is going to save you a ton of money. If you can't get around that, then you're going to have to drill down into this trip. Let's see here. Okay, this is another thing to watch out for, is the return flight. Return flight, based on the times you want to come back, it's going to increase the price a bit. So if you want to fly out at 9:55 in the morning, it's going to bring it up to $255. If you're okay doing a red-eye flight and flying Spirit Airlines, that will save you some money. So let's choose this one here. Select that. Now we'll see our the full breakdown of the itinerary. So we have our basic economy here for $255, which is going to allow us to get a seat selection, but it's going to cost us. There's no priority boarding, no ticket changes, no upgrades, no carry-on bags. Maybe those are things that we need to have. So you get a free seat selection. Here's some paid options, and you do get to bring the carry-on, but it's going to be $325. Let's say you aren't quite ready to book this. What you can do is turn on this track prices, and anytime the fare increases or decreases, you will get an email letting you know of the price change. So let's say you have some time to book this. This is a great feature with Google Flights that will notify you when that changes. Okay, let's go back here, and you click on this to go back to the original search. And let's go back to the date grid. Let's see here. Let's say we could leave on Tuesday and come back on Tuesday. Let's see what that's all about. It would be flying Spirit Airlines. Okay, let's say we don't want to put up with layovers. So let's say nonstop only. Look at this. Alaska, direct flight to Tampa for $377. Look at how much more it is for a direct flight to Orlando. It's over $100 more on the same airline, same time, just leaving minutes apart. So if you have the ability to get transportation to Orlando, renting a car is really only, if you're going to get just a basic economy car, you may only have to pay around $100, a little over $100. So think of it this way. You get a nonstop flight into Tampa on Alaska, same airline, and you can have a rental car with it. Granted, you do have to drive the hour and so many minutes to get to Orlando from Tampa, but you'll have a car to get around to places that would normally be more difficult to get around to if you didn't have one. You can select this flight. Okay, has us returning at 5:55 p.m., so we don't have to get up early to get to the airport. Click on this and select flight. Now, let's see what we're giving up with this fare. No seat selection. Standard seat. Last aboard, no ticket changes, but you do get the carry-on. So if you're okay with not selecting your seat and having a standard seat assignment assigned to you by the airline, and you don't mind getting on the plane last and you can't change your ticket, this is going to save you quite a bit of money over the next tier, which is going to allow you to check your to select your seat. It's going to allow you to be part of standard boarding, and it will allow you to change your ticket for a fee. So $377 is a great price to fly coast to coast here. And again, if you want to track the price, turn that on, and you will be sent messages whenever the price changes. I just booked a flight just today on Google Flights using Alaska Airlines, through Alaska Airlines here. And one thing that I have seen that's different now, that's new, is you can actually, at least for Alaska Airlines, I'm not sure about the other airlines, you can now do everything right here on the Google Flights page. So let's say we want to book this, a new dialog is going to open up. Everything's right here in the Google Flights site. You put in your information here, and you can put in your payment information. Everything's done right here. And this could be because you're not selecting any sort of seat assignment, so you can do this through Google Flights. If you were able to choose a seat, they might send you over to the Alaska website. So just a lot of powerful features in here for getting to Orlando, Florida from Seattle. Now this is, if you want to go in and find out what your trips are, if you've booked one, you can also look through these packages and see what Google could build for you. You can explore, looking at different locations. You can even look for hotels on here. Let's say you need a place to stay in Orlando, then you can check out the different hotels that are available. Expand this, zoom out on this map, and you could see prices based on locations around Orlando and find what's going to work best for you with a bird's eye view. And again, like I mentioned, you can even search for packages here. So let's say you want to search for an all-inclusive vacation at a particular place in Orlando. This will allow you to do that. If you want to stay at a Cabana Bay Beach Resort, this will allow you to just really drill down on every aspect of your vacation. The flight, the hotel reservations, and it breaks it down per person, and you can book that from here. It'll probably send you to TripAdvisor to finish booking that vacation. If you come up here to the menu, you've got a similar menu, but you can go here to your tracked flight prices, and this is where you can see what you just saved for tracking. So if you don't want to go through your email to find it, you can just come here and see what the current prices are here. And you can delete that tracking if you don't want to follow it anymore. See booking options. So that takes you right to this page where you can review again what the price differences are on the features that come with that flight. So a lot of different ways to find inexpensive flights here in Google Flights. This is just one example. You could do this for international travel. You could do this for multi-cities in being able to find the best deal for your trip. So you would just select here multi-city, and then you could just build in what you want your itinerary to be. If you're going to a number of different places around the country or internationally, just keep adding flights and use some of the same strategies to find the least expensive yet convenient flights for you. So that's an overview of Google Flights, and be sure to watch the first video I put up on Google Flights for other tips in using it, but this is a real-life example to show you how to book a flight between two major cities and using the surrounding airports to find a flight that is less expensive. Appreciate you watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, The Handy Hudsonite, for more tips, hacks, and reviews so that you can get the job done. And don't forget that notification bell so that you can get up-to-date content from me every week. And I will look forward to seeing you in the next video.